Hey, Cubs, it's Miss Candleberry. Let's see if I can get a better. I'm going to work over here, and then I'm going to kind of try to look at you over here. We'll see how well that works. So today I'm going to teach you how to make the thing that one of the things, we usually make two, but one of the things that we usually make in our class for Mother's Day. And this is a sugar scrub. Now, the other thing we used to make is like a bath soak, but a lot of people don't have Epsom salt just sitting around their house. So we're going to skip that one and we're going to focus on the sugar scrub. Now, all the items here are items hopefully that you have around your house. I know I have them because I cook. The one thing you might not have maybe is honey. And if you don't have honey, you can try to leave it out, although I think it helps because it makes it a little bit thicker. So here are the items you're going to need. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need some honey. I've got some honey right here. You're going to also need some olive oil, and it does need to be olive oil, okay? Can't be like vegetable oil. It's got to be olive oil. And then you're going to also need some sugar, and I've got my thing of sugar here. Regular sugar. This white color sugar is called granulated sugar. The other kind of sugar you can use is called raw sugar, and it's not brown sugar. So we're not talking about brown sugar like you would make cookies and stuff out of. Because brown sugar has something called molasses in it, and we don't really want that. But if you have something called sugar in the raw, which it's like granulated, which means like cubic, kind of like a cube shape, like this white, but it's like brown and it's bigger. That's what we would use in class. But I don't have that here at my home because that's something people a lot of times put in coffee. And guess what? I don't drink coffee. So I don't have that at home. Okay. The other thing you're going to need is, if your mom has it, it's called essential oils, or you guys have them at home. I use these. I have something called a diffuser, and I put it in there with some water, and then it like brings out this like smelly kind of water vapor that like is calming and stuff. The one I have is lemon and eucalyptus. Your mom or your dad or whoever's at home with you might have a different essential oil. Now, if you don't have essential oil, you don't really need it. This is just how we're going to add smell, like a nice smell. You can also use, if you have like a body wash, and by body wash, I mean not like a hand wash, but like something that like is liquid that you would use soap in the bathroom, your bathtub. You can use some of your mom's, but you only need just a teeny weeny bit of it, because if you're using this instead of the essential oil, then it's going to add some water. And if you don't know this, water, when you add it to sugar, it dissolves. Okay, so you want to use very little of this, just enough to give it some smell if you're going to use that instead of the essential oil, okay? And you're also going to need a bowl or a cup or something to mix in. I got my bowl right here, okay? You're going to need something to stir it with, and I have a plastic knife that I have in a set of something. You can use a regular knife or a fork or anything. I just had this, and I didn't want to just throw it away because I had used like the fork forever ago. So I thought, oh, well, now it's a good time to use the knife. And you're going to also need something to put it in after you're done. Now, Miss Candleberry, you're going to see how Miss Candleberry recycles in a second. A lot of times if I get like takeout, like if somebody delivers food to me, I get these little plastic containers with food in it, and then I wash them and I keep them to use later. And this also is the same thing. I got this from some restaurant takeout, and I washed it and I reused them. So like I could use either of these to put them in if I had it and I washed it out really well. If you don't have something like that, you can also use like a regular like plastic baggie, okay? You don't want to put it in a grocery bag, okay? Not a grocery bag. This is like a Ziploc bag, okay? And it's not going to be a ton of stuff. This is not going to make like a big, huge pot. So if you want more than this, you're going to have to do each of these 2 times. Does that make sense? Okay, and something that's not on here that you're going to need are these things called measuring spoons. Usually if you bake with your mom or by yourself, but probably with your parent, you probably have used these before. And I also need a measuring cup. Now my measuring cups I have a cutie looking measuring cup that looks like this. But a measuring cup, if you could see in the middle, like that's 1 cup. This is 1 cup. Down here. I don't know if you guys can see it. See, it says 1 cup kind of in the middle. If I turn it upside down so you can actually read it, see? A lot of times they look like scoops, and it'll say like 1 cup, 1 C, 1/2 C. And you guys know fractions. So today we're going to use fractions. All right. You got to identify the fraction to be able to know what to put in. So our first step is to get our honey. So our honey, and again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It says it on there. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of honey. And so we know, let me make sure that this is open. I think that's open. Yeah, it's open. 2 teaspoons of honey. So when I look at my teaspoons, like that says 1/4 of a teaspoon. That means this is only a fourth of one. That says 1/2 teaspoon. So it's a TSP. And here this says 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of honey in my bowl. Now, ooh, Miss Candleberry's, ooh. You know it takes a long time with honey. Let me tell you, because it's thick. So this is something that if we were in class, and if you have an older brother or even a younger brother, if you have an older brother and sister, this is something they can help you with. It's hard to squeeze it and put it in. So it's good to maybe you hold the spoon or your older brother or sister holds the spoon. Or if you have a younger brother and sister, maybe, and you can trust them, they hold the spoon and you squeeze. And then, as you can see, I'm using the thing I'm using to stir to kind of bring my honey out into the bowl because it's so thick. And now I'm going to do another one. Shaky, shaky. Shaky, shake. I'm shaking it so it'll come down. Okay, here we go. Ugh. So I'm doing 2 teaspoons of this. The great thing about honey is it's very thick. And so because it's so thick, as long as you're careful, it's not gonna, you don't have to worry about pouring it as much. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of scrape that out. All right, I've got some honey in here. All right, and I'm gonna put this on this paper towel so I don't get honey everywhere on my table. And then it says I need to add 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. So now I've got to find my 4th cup. Miss Kindleberry bakes a lot. So my 4th cup is this little thing in the middle, and I can tell it's the 4th because in the middle of it, mine, it says 1/4, 1 out of 4, meaning this is a 1/4 of a regular cup of oil. So, or whatever I'm pouring, right? 4 of these would go into, okay, here we go. There we go. And it's okay if you have a little extra oil. So you're going to stir that really well. If you can, it's going to be hard because it kind of separates because they are different densities. Am I right? Sorry, guys. This Candleberry in the middle of that one stopped it. Okay, by accident. So anyway, so you're going to mix as well as you can. You know that they are different densities, so it's not going to mix very well. Okay, it's going to still look like the honey is kind of sitting on the bottom. All right. Then after you do that, you're going to put 6 drops of essential oil. Now, this is my essential oil, and mine has a little droppy thing on it already. It's got this little thing. But if yours doesn't, you might have like a squeeze dropper, then you just be careful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the way I want to, you don't want to put a ton in, but when you bring your nose to it, you should be able to smell it. Woo, Nelly, do I smell mine? Holy moly, it's smelly. So I am going in a good way, But so I'm going to, mix that oil in so it goes kind of mixes in really well with my olive oil. All right. Now, I've done that. My next thing I'm going to do is, now if you don't have essential oil, that was when you would take, I'm not going to do it, but you take a couple of, just a little teeny weeny bit, kind of like the same amount, like 6 drops of soap and put it in there. Okay. But really and truly, it works better with essential oil. And you don't have to use either of those. You don't have to use essential oil, or you don't have to use body wash. You don't have to use any of that. All right? Ooh, let me put the top back on my olive oil. Okay, so my honey and my olive oil are done. And now I'm going to put my sugar in there. So I've got to get my 1/2 cup sugar. And Miss Candleberry is going to look for the 1/2. There it is. You can see in the middle that it shows 1/2. Okay? Sometimes maybe your measuring cups look like almost like a pitcher, like with little things on the side of it, and that's okay too. This is something great for you and your older siblings to do. So now, Miss Candleberry, you can kind of see it on this. And I'm going to put 1/2 cup, if I can get it in there, sugar. I do not have my scoop in here for some reason. Usually I have a scoop that I scoop it out of with. Okay, so now I've got half a cup sugar. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I got half a cup sugar, and I'm going to pour it in there. All the sugar dust is coming out. Yeah. Okay, let me put that over there. And put my top back on my sugar. And now I'm just going to stir it really well. And when I stir it, the sugar is going to absorb the oil and the honey. And you want to stir it well because you want all of your scrub to have the oil in it, all of your scrub to have the honey in it. You can see it kind of absorbs it. And the why these is really cool is because sugar scrub, sometimes, especially now with as much as we're all washing our hands, our skin can get dry and kind of rough. And Miss Candleberry's definitely is. You can't really see it, but really is. My hands are because I'm washing my hands so often. So because our skin is getting rough, and again, I'm being really careful, by the way, to make sure to get all the honey off of the bottom. The honey was kind of on the bottom of my bowl, and I'm trying to mix it in with my sugar scrub. Blah, blah. But the good thing about sugar scrub is that because our hands are getting dry because we're washing them so often, this is a way that kind of gets because sugar is rough, you rub it on your skin and you kind of do this with it, and it's gonna help get off all of your dead skin and make your hands soft again. And what in it makes your hands soft? The sugar scrub. Well, the sugar actually, because it's cubular, it's kind of rough and it kind of files away that dead skin. And then, believe it or not, your olive oil and your honey are what make your skin softer because they have emollients in it. They have fat in it. So here we go. I've got my sugar scrub. It's pretty well stirred. And now I'm going to put it in my container. I think there's actually a lot, probably a little bit too much that go in that one. So I'm going to put it in this one. I'm just going to turn my bowl. Ugh. Now, again, you can put it in a plastic baggie if you have if you don't have this. Like I said, Miss Candleberry has this, so why not use it? I'm going to try to get all of the stuff off the side. And if you're trying to hide this so your mom doesn't see it, so she doesn't know you made it, although if you're watching a video on it, and you're doing it, she probably does know. But if you're trying to hide it so your mom doesn't know, maybe you're doing it with your dad, you never know. Then the cool thing about this is if you use hot water, because sugar dissolves in hot water, right? It goes away. They won't even know what you had in that bowl. They won't be able to tell. So I'm going to kind of make mine a little even. And now if you got it all over your bag or all over the side of your container, I used a big one, so I didn't need to. You might want to wipe it off because the next thing that I'm going to do is, because I've got this, I'm going to write with my permanent marker on the top what it is. And I use lemon and eucalyptus. That was my oil. So whatever oil or soap you use, that's the beginning of your name. So I'm going to say lemon and that says eucalyptus. I'm just spelling eucalyptus. And now I'm going to put it is honey, sugar, scrub. Now, Miss Candleberry wants to give you a disclaimer that when you use this, if you use this while you're in the shower or something, it can make the shower really slippery. Okay? So you just want to be careful with it. Now, I've done this, and now it says decorate if you wish. So if I wanted to, I could come on here and I could do some flowers because I have a top. Or maybe if you're putting it in a bag, you might want to decorate the bag with your permanent marker first, let it dry, and then put the stuff in. That might be easier. So I can make some flowers if I want. I might do some hearts because it is Mother's Day, right? Miss Candleberry's mom, my mom's birthday is today too. So Mother's Day is on Sunday and her birthday is today. So there we go. I've decorated the top. You could also, if you have a little bag, and I have this bag, which probably isn't big enough. I probably should have gotten a gallon Ziploc bag for this. Oops. I didn't let it. Yeah. In the bag, I'm going to put this plastic spoon. And the reason why I'm going to put this plastic spoon in the bag is because, actually, I'd rather do it a different way. The reason why I'm giving my mom a plastic spoon is because with a plastic spoon, okay, you always have, even if you have clean hands, there's always some bacteria or skin cells on your hand. And so because this isn't preserved, we made it ourselves. Um, bacteria can get into those things. Usually, probably not with your mom, but just in case. So usually I'll give a little spoon. You take the spoon and you stick it in and you drop some on your hand. But you don't have to do that. I have to decorate it. You also, if I wanted to tie my spoon to it, which I do, I have this like paper ribbony thing. I thought this was pretty cool. I've been making masks, so I have this piece of fabric. Maybe you have a random ribbon around your house that I'm going to put like this. Now, this would be easier if I had a bag. Because if I had a bag, what I would do is I would just squoosh the top together and do it like that. When it's closed, I would close it, and then I would squoosh the top together, and then I would put I'll show you in a second, my ribbon around that. But right here, so let me take that off for a second. I'm going to, you can't see. All right. I'm going to tie this. This is, again, an extra piece of, you know what? I need to do it the other way. Sorry. This is an extra piece of fabric that Miss Candleberry had left over from making masks. And I know I'm picking this up so you can't see it, but maybe you could see it here. All right, here we go. I crossed it underneath. Underneath I did like this, and then I did like this, if you want to know what I did. So again, I had it like this, and then I just crossed it to bring it back up this way. I'm going to put this like this, and then in the middle I'm going to put my spoon, and now I'm going to tie a bow, which I'm sure as second graders you know how to do. I'm going to tie my bow, or you tie your shoelace. So here we go. And there we go. I have a Mother's Day present for my mom ready. And I actually reused a lot of stuff. I reused the extra scrap of fabric. I found this. The spoon that nobody used. And then, of course, I reused the container. So that's really cool. There is my Mother's Day present, and now I could go make a card with it. But just to do what I promised I would do, here is this. If I had, let's say I had this little container in here, or if I had my sugar scrub in there, I would if it was a container, I put it flat, try to get out extra air, and then I would take my thing like this, my ribbon or whatever, and tie it, and I'm not doing as good of a job on it, and tie it kind of like this. Here, it's not going to be as pretty as I would normally make it. Please don't think that my packages look like this. But I just wanted to show you, and they would kind of be like that. Okay? All right. But anyway, those are some ways that you can, or that's a way you can make your mother a special Mother's Day craft. And the cool thing is, once you make it once, you can make this over and over again if she likes it. And you don't have to go buy it, because if you buy sugar scrub at the store, it's kind of expensive. It's like $10 sometimes. And this is one you made yourself. Anyway, so I hope you liked your craft, and I hope that you get to do it for Mother's Day. And if you don't get to do it for Mother's Day, maybe you guys can make a plan to do it together on Mother's Day. Maybe you can get everything together and say, Mom, let's make you some sugar scrub for Mother's Day for your hands or for your body. You can also use other parts of your body. All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye. And don't forget to tell your mom how much you love her on Mother's Day Sunday.